Hello students, welcome to the EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Rashmi Sharma, Head of the Department OBNHR, Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, Delhi. Today, we will learn the module Appraising Performance, Problems and Solutions. This module is from the paper Contemporary Issues in HRM and Future Trends. The learning outcomes of this module would be that we would be introducing the concept of appraising performance. We will understand what are the problems and what are the solutions. We will understand what are the most common problems in appraisal process, what are the advantages of appraisal process, the challenges and factors that affect the appraising process and the appraisal performance. After completing this module, the students will be able to understand the challenges and opportunities for managers to use performance management concepts, understand the factors that affect the performance management system. We all know that performance appraisal is the systematic evaluation of the performance of employees and to understand the abilities of a person for future growth and development. Performance appraisal is generally done in a very systematic manner, which is as follows. The supervisor measures the pay of employees and compares it with the targets and plans. The supervisor analyzes the factors behind the work performance of the employees. The employers are in a position to guide the employees for a better performance. The objectives of performance appraisal are to maintain records in order to determine the compensation packages, wage structures, salary raises, etc. To identify the strengths and weaknesses of employees, to place the right people on the right job, to maintain and assess the potential present in a person for future growth and development, to provide a feedback to employees regarding their performance and related status. Also, to provide a feedback to employees regarding their own performance and status. It serves as a basis for influencing the working habits of the employees and also helps to review and retain the promotional and other training programs. Let us now understand the advantages of performance appraisal. Performance appraisal helps the supervisors to chalk out the promotion programs for efficient and effective employees. In this regard, inefficient workers can be demoted or sent for training. Performance appraisal helps in chalking out compensation packages for employees. Merit rating is possible through performance appraisal. This tries to give worth to an individual's performance. Performance appraisal also helps to bring in employee development. The systematic procedure of performance appraisal helps the supervisors to frame training policies and different programs that would enhance the skills or knowledge of an employee. Performance appraisal also helps the supervisor to understand the validity and importance of the selection procedure. For any organization, effective communication between employees and employers is very important. Through performance appraisal, communication can be sought for in the following ways. The employers can understand and accept the skills and knowledge and abilities of their subordinates. The subordinates can also understand and create a trust and confidence in the superiors. Communication also helps in maintaining cordial and congenial labor management relationship. It develops a spirit of work and boosts the morale of employees. Performance appraisal serves as a motivational tool. Through evaluating the performance of employees, a person's efficiency can be determined if the targets are achieved. Appraising performance, problems and solution. Performance appraisal offers a precise way to develop the people working within the organization. The goal is to use performance appraisal as a development tool. Since performance appraisal ratings involve human judgment, they are subject to human error. Let us first understand the errors in appraising performance. The first one is the halo effect. Let's have a problem. In this situation, a manager or supervisor allows a general favorable impression of an employee to influence his or her judgment on each separate factor in the performance appraisal process. Now, the solution to this problem is the rater should consider each factor independently of all other factors rather than rating the employee at the same level on all or most factors in an appraisal. No employee's behavior can be the same on the variety of skills that the rating scale measure. The second problem is recency effect. The problem may be a staff member's recent outstanding contribution or untimely mistake just prior to a performance review colors the manager's perception of the employee's performance for the entire appraisal process. It's a similar pitfall, that is the unforgettable effect, which occurs when an employee does something so extraordinary, either positively or negatively, that its impression lasts for a long time to the advantage or disadvantage of the employee. The solution in this case is an alert manager who would compensate for the lack of perspective by careful documentation. Manager's preference, and in this case, let's understand a problem. A personal friend of managers get better rating than their performance justifies. Conversely, managers rate employees lower than they deserve when conflicts of manner, style and personality exist. The solution in this case is the managers would avoid the tendency to rate favored employees higher than they deserve because of the manner and personality. Effect of past record. Let's have a problem here. The employee who has performed well in the distant past is assumed to be acceptable in the recent past also. The previous good work tends to carry over into the new period being appraised. Now, the solution is once again observation and documentations of the employee's performance that will give an accurate amount of the performance period under scrutiny. Leniency effect refers to when a manager is very lenient. The problem cited in this case can be a manager who has rated everybody at a very high scale. This error is usually committed when managers feel uncomfortable about communicating negative feedback or do not want to hurt the employee's feelings. The solution to this problem can be understanding the constructive purposes of performance appraisal and acquiring effective skills in giving negative feedback that should reduce the tendency to commit this error. Sometimes managers make quick guesses based on the first impression of an employee's performance, and this falls in the category of carelessness. The solution to this issue can be the managers can commit significant time to observe staff members and form judgments on the basis of their observation. Major decisions are often based on performance rating, and ill-considered ratings will surely contribute unreliable information and distract them from the organization's goal. Let's have a look at a problem which is pertaining to irrelevant or illegal standards. Evaluations are independent on the rater's personal preferences, prejudice and biases. The rater who has a biased or prejudiced attitude towards a certain group of people looks for behavior in these groups that confirms his or her prejudice. The solution in this case can be that while rating an employee, the manager must consider the same relevant behavior for all the employees supervised. Social status, race, gender, age or any other non-performing factor should not affect the performance appraisal ratings. Slide 22 would be an animation. Most common problems in appraisals are when the managers initiate the appraisal procedures, there are certain obstacles that they have to overcome. As human beings, we tend to favor someone whom we like or someone whom we dislike. But as a manager, we cannot evaluate someone on the basis of our personal likings or dislikings. Instead, we must look into the performance of the employees and rate them fairly. Of course, it's easier said than done. First is when we start comparing a certain employee with others. Some companies rate the employees by comparing their performance with others. When this is done, then someone will end up being at the bottom of the scale. Even when he or she has performed well as per the company standards, but still as compared to the rest, he would lie on the bottom of the pyramid. Second, doing exceptionally well. This usually happens in sales. This one person who is rude with his co-workers and does not respect anybody, but as such he brings in sales and is a star salesperson. Thus, everybody in the leadership loves him and rates him higher and are oblivion to the fact that he does not get along with any of his peer groups or colleagues. Third, recent behavior. All throughout the year, the employee may have performed really well, but at the end of the year, a silly but a dreadful mistake happened and all his or her good work has been put down to drain. Now he or she will now be appraised based on this small mistake that was committed by him around the appraisal process. Lacks in one department. That is, an employee may be a good performer in all aspects, but he is not good at a certain function that is done in a certain department. Let's take an example of filing. So, the company has to hire a temporary worker to help him or her with the filing because the number of files have piled up. Now, due to this drawback, automatically he will be given a poor rating, which should not be the case. The next example is that of a lenient rating. When the manager wants to go through the appraisal procedure really quick, suddenly you will find that on an average everybody has got the same rating. This way everybody is happy and the leader or the manager, that is he or she, won't have to answer any questions at all. He has played very safe. Well, the benefits of well-structured performance appraisal are many. There are different kinds of appraisal problems, but As a manager, you will have to overcome all of them for the well-being of the company. If the employees are happy, then they will give their best and the company will grow in leaps and bounds. If the appraisal is done in a proper manner, then the employees will perform well, their morale will be high and they will have a higher job satisfaction. In order to achieve these goals, one will have to assist the development of your employee by providing them with proper feedback, make the employees aware of the business direction and align their behavior with it, define the development goals and discuss their career goals. So as to overcome the problems of performance appraisal, there are few steps that can be followed. First is to turn the confrontation into a discussion. In most cases, when an employee receives a poor rating, it is obvious that he or she would be a bit agitated. However, if you keep on going and giving him or her a feedback on his performance from time to time, then that employee will be aware of her or his standards as per the company's norms. Second step can be linking the salary with performance. If you perform well, then salary would automatically get increased. It is a fact that we all are aware of. But the appraisal discussion is not only about salary. It is about how the business and employees perform. It also reflects on how the business goals affect in a positive or a negative manner. The appraisal must link to the job. This is one of the most important things in the appraisal procedure. The performance rating must directly relate to the job of the employee and nothing else should matter. It must be strictly about this person's daily performance and how it has affected the business goals in a positive or a negative manner. The fourth step can be development plans can be put into place. If you do not put in a learning plan or a development plan in front of the employee, then how will you assess the performance? In order to achieve a result or enhance performance, a proper plan is very important. Step 5 can be keeping a note. Note down the performance of the employee all throughout the year. This way, you would be able to discuss the shortcomings and the achievements of the employee during the appraisal discussion. If you are not keeping a note of that, and when an employee asks you on the basis of which the rating has been provided, you will be in a big situation. Therefore, track the performance on a daily basis. Now let us understand what are the challenges or the factors that affect appraising the performance. The appraisal of an employee is directly dependent on the performance that he or she has shown over a period of time. Every business wants to maximize its profits and depends upon the collective effort of all the employees to achieve it. Teamwork is important. The way you behave in your teams and in your organization has a huge impact on the appraisal process. If you are known as a team player and help your colleagues to improve their performance, it is very likely that the organization would recognize your efforts and reward you. Attendance and punctuality is another case. While it is okay to take a day off once in a while, but frequent absenteeism can hamper your appraisal. Once you start calling in sick frequently, your managers will develop a negative perception about you. Tardiness on your part can also affect your appraisal as an organization put this to intense scrutiny. Assertiveness or motivation are also important characteristics that every organization looks forward to in their employees. Employees who go about their jobs with vigor and excitement, who take initiative and also show a desire to perform exceptionally well, are looked highly upon by the managers. Process knowledge. An employee was disappointed when she or he came to know that his or her colleague has been awarded a higher rating than her or him, even though this person had generated more sales. This person was in dilemma for a few days before she decided to sense the situation and have a word with the superior so that there is no ambiguity. So, communication is the key in appraisal process. Organizational skills also reflect to your managers that you really know how to prioritize your more important tasks. A well-organized employee is always ready for any additional responsibilities, and the managers can trust him for his ability to get something done. Customer service is important when it comes to generating revenue. There is a likelihood that your managers would not be able to rely on you in case the cost has gone up. Thus, your relationship with them would be marked by a trust deficit because you could not generate revenue and you increase the cost. Appearances, that is semiotics, have a role to play. The way you dress up also plays an important role sometimes in determining the course of your appraisal process. Employees who are presentable and are smart and prim and proper are more likely to create a positive image in the minds of managers than the employees who do not dress up properly to office. Biased managers is the biggest disadvantage for an organization. This creates ill will and negativity in the organizations. Managers sometimes show biasness towards employees with whom they are friendly as compared to those who are just their acquaintances. This can have an ill effect on the rest. Performance appraisal is one business activity that most of the employees look forward to. After all, this is one of the most key important factors that drives the employees to put in that extra effort in their jobs day in and day out. Performance appraisals are conducted to review the performance of the employee and decide his or her compensation package or promotion or lateral movement according to his or her achievements. Thank you.